I know we talked about it a lot, but I feel like we still can't get over it. What a win. Not only do you beat your rival in the final minutes of the game, but you also clinch a berth in the Pac-12 title game. Overall thoughts, guys. I know we asked questions, but we don't get the thoughts out, so that's what I want right now.
Overall thoughts? I mean, can we start saying the H word, the good old...
I know.
Heisman.
That's where you're going first? No, let's not do that first.
That's where I'm going because it was wild. Like, go ahead of that game that week, like no one was talking about it. And then it feels like now when you listen to national media, that is the go-to buzz. I saw USC Social. Jordan Moore probably posted something. And so to me, it's a big difference from very little chatter to now that being a big focus. But yes, big time win. But we're winning in large part because of our stud quarterback who's been balling out all year.
That's what happens when you have a primetime game. I think that's you finally get
7:30, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was
primetime matchup. Game time was one time, but the matchup was
sure. It's both things, but I feel like it's interesting because I feel like Heisman voting is very much like recency bias a little bit, and this is kind of the perfect time for Caleb Williams to kind of strike while everyone's looking at when to make their vote.
Yeah, and it was just the game couldn't have been funner to watch, and just the entertainment level of was so high. It was two great quarterbacks going at it, dueling, one coming out a little more than the other, and it was just made for fun watch. As a defender, it's sometimes it can get frustrating to watch those kind of football games, but sometimes you got to sit back and just enjoy football, enjoy what people can do out there. And Caleb Williams and DTR were putting on a show. DTR getting hurt and staying in there, and Caleb Williams driving the team. And I mean, I would just at a certain point you turn into a fan there, and then our defense able to come up with some big plays when they needed it, and that's kind of been their MO the whole year, and they figure it out when they need a play, they get a turnover and it creates some disruption. So I mean, it was a great game to watch, great game to cover, and I'm sure proud of the Trojans, and I know everyone in town is.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there science to takeaways? I know
that's what I was going to say.
This defense is so opportunistic. And towards the end of the first half, you kind of just had a feeling. You were like, this is going to be a classic Trojan takeaway right now, and then they got two of them. Is there science to that, Shaun?
I don't know if there's a science, but I think there is to Alex Grinch's defense. There's something built in about making plays on the ball, right? There's something about, all right, we might give up some stuff that we might, here and there, but some of these things that we're not going to give up, we're gonna eat on these plays. We are going to make big plays here. This route here, we're not giving this up. But when you maybe might give some other things up, this one right here is when we're going to make the big play. So I think there's some of that built into Alex Grinch's defense, and I think that some of the playmakers you need playmakers to make those kind of plays. Some of those times you're not going to come up with the ball if you don't have guys with hands who can catch. And so I think some of that definitely is thought about, I think.
It's bizarre watching, right? It's like, oh, yeah, we know they're going to get their big plays, but then eventually the defense is going to buckle down and come up with a big turnover. And it's been consistent all year long. And credit Grinch, that call late in the game, that's a huge tendency for UCLA. That they call that play all the time on 3rd and 5. Like that whole X's and O's right there. If you want to nerd out, we got to give Grinch credit because I know, there's been times this season where the defense hasn't shown up to put Corey Foreman in that spot and not let UCLA get going. Awfully impressive.
Quickly, each of you, what's been the biggest surprise for you this season from this USC team?
Just how fast they put it together. I didn't imagine that it could come together this quick. I think like you guys are talking about with Coach, the chemistry, just getting everybody on the same page. It's a hard thing to do. It's not an easy task, and not just that, but forcing it. Players can feel when you force it, and I think he's danced that fine line of not forcing it upon the guys, but still bringing them together.
Defensive line, for me, I feel like that was like the glaring concern in August of what are we going to do defensive line-wise, both depth, interior-wise. I haven't talked about the interior of the defensive line in a whole month. And it speaks to them. Are they, first-team all-conference? No, but it's not a glaring weakness. And I would have put money before the season that was going to be the Achilles heel of the team, and it's just not.
Slowing down Charbonnet, Tyrone Taleni with the sack-cost fumble. I mean, great the other night.
It's the same thing as when I hosted last time. I'm putting the line at 5.5 for USC's CFP ranking tomorrow. New rankings on Tuesday. What do you guys got? Over, under? You know the drill.
Okay, I am going under in that they will be a better ranked team at 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying under as well. I think 5 is where they're going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go over 5. I don't think. Yeah, they're not going to be 6.
And that's jumping 2 spots. I'm cheating a little bit because I know the AP poll is 5.
But like
so you
sometimes
got
they don't match
Tennessee.
up.
They don't always match
necessarily.
up, but you got Tennessee, and so it's at least 6. There's no way they're less than 6, and then they have to leapfrog
LSU.
LSU. I think they do, because the biggest weakness with SC from when you listen to national media is they don't have a marquee win. They don't have a marquee win. They don't have a marquee road win as well. Well, check off both those boxes. Marquee win, top 15 team, on the road, rivalry, and then you saw what this team was. Opportunistic on defense and maybe the best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, maybe the best offense in the country. When they're rolling, and even if you think about their offense, they didn't even capitalize on 3 red zone opportunities, and they still put 48 up there. It's kind of crazy that they can be that good sometimes.
Is it crazy that we're talking about CFP?
Yes,
It's
absolutely
unreal.
crazy, absolutely bonkers. It is unreal. When the Netflix doc comes out in 15 years about the rise of USC football, this
Who's
season
gonna
will
play you?
forever be who's going to play me? Some goober, I don't know, some tall, skinny dude.